Welcome back. We've got first snow again, and I did save, but when I tried to reload it, the script was broken, so I had to skip again because curse me. So we're back where we left off. We just had dinner at Eileen's house, apartment, and we got her to join the club. Even as I walk down the hallway, my steps somehow feel lighter than they did as I entered. Being around others usually makes me exhausted, but right now I feel more comfortable than ever. So bright. Wallace, it's nice to see you again. How's it going? I'm not joining this club thing, if that's what you're thinking. But word on the street was that pizza was involved. Because no one can deny pizza. Besides, I don't think I can deal with the both of you without some backup. Ouch. I'm not that much trouble, am I? Remind me who persuaded me into agreeing to this again. She's got a point. You're the last person who should be agreeing with her. Yes, you are the last person who should be. Makes me want pizza right now. Smiling and sitting back in the old wooden chair, I take a look about the noisy room. Noisy? It's empty. Everyone inside must be thankful for the heat being turned up. The weather outside having been freezing before we entered, there's a certain charm to the restaurant given exposed aging brick walls and wooden furniture, however hard it may be. It takes a bit of speaking up for us to hear each other over the busily chatting couples and groups around us, but like Dad said, the more people at a restaurant, the better the food will be. Yeah, that's true, except you have to wait for long lines. I noticed Eileen eyeing Wallace's beer in an unsubtle manner, a large glass perspiring away like in a commercial. I'd taken his apparent age as just his beard making him look older, but I guess he really does have a few years on us. Yeah, beards really make people look older. Man, I miss beer. It would go so well with this. Why don't you drink? Here I was thinking you were far too uptight to do something like underage drinking. Remember the trip to Europe me and my family took last year? You think I just drank soda over there? Well, I was in a Munich? Wallace, I mean, really. Caprice and I can only smile at her little lecture. Don't be sad, Eileen. Don't be sad, Eileen. It's only a couple more years. Then you can drink all you want. The look of pure and unrelenting disdain Eileen gives her at being reminded of the weight goes gleefully ignored, which is probably for the best. Our chatter is interrupted by the arrival of a waiter, a weedy young man clad in a plain red and black uniform. It's impressive how well he maneuvers all our pizzas and sides onto the table, all our mouths watering as they steam away. Yeah, that is impressive. Because fast foods have to be fast. With a curt "please enjoy," he leaves us to our feast. Damn, they're fast here. Best pizza place in the city. How many have you actually tried? Doesn't matter, since I've already tried this place, she says, busily shoving a slice of pizza into her mouth. Eileen starts on hers, but mine catches the eyes of Wallace. Vegetarian? You're not a leaf eater, are you? He says this with genuine concern in his voice. What's wrong? I just like the taste. The answer satisfies him as he goes to work on his own. The fact it's a meat lover's pizza is less than surprising. He loves his meat. Think you can take the wallet hit for tonight? No problem. Yeah, no problem. No problem, question mark. It's a little sad how obviously she's trying to convince herself of the fact. The only reason I'm not having a quick check myself is because I budgeted the trip days in advance, and even Was looks like he's doubting himself a little. Such is life of a struggling college student. Sure is. I really need to get a job. You don't have one either? I'm planning to get one. And when will you? Soon. Soon. Eileen just promises. She got me. How's working at the store was? Not exactly riveting, but it's a living. As I turn to Eileen, she just shrugs as she pulls out another slice. No job and no excuse like studying. Guess I must let her. Like Caprice. Given her apartment, it's a surprise that she could afford to live in that area and pay her tuition at the same time. She must be super rich. I have to admit, I'm envious of how she seems to have her life together. I've never met someone so independent, yet doing such a good job at it. Wallace momentarily bringing his phone up to check the time spurs Caprice into action. And she's just sly looking. Her twisting about in her seat and fussing around with her coat draped over the back takes everyone's attention. Caprice, what you got there? She finally rights herself after a few moments, her own phone proudly in hand. Let's exchange phone numbers. As a club, we have to stay in contact. I quickly turn to grab my phone while Caprice tries to talk a very reluctant Wallace into going along with her plan. Look at his face. His dreary look makes me feel a little sorry for him, especially as he cracks and gives up. At least she and I are already sorted. It wasn't long after we met that Caprice asked to exchange contact details with me. I take my phone in hand and look to Eileen instead, who looks up from eating with little interest. Don't want to? Don't want to? She just shrugs. I feel myself deflate a little from the excitement of earlier, having overestimated how close we'd managed to become. Ouch. I don't really use it much. Reading the room as she glances about, she reluctantly pulls out an ancient-looking flip phone. I can't help but stare in stunned silence at such a relic. It's not that weird, is it? I just never had a use for a fancy one. It's definitely weird. I was going to try to get everyone on this group messaging app too. What's wrong with calling? You know the thing phones were made for? Yeah. Thoughts I had of possibly messaging Eileen start to vanish. I can't imagine her actually wanting to text anyone with that thing. And even the idea of calling somebody fills me with anxiety. Yeah, talk about it. As for Eileen, I think I might have inadvertently disappointed her by not tempering Caprice's reaction. Oops. With a quiet falling over the table, we end up concentrating on our cooling pizza rather than our phones. So, I was right? Best pizza place? At least Caprice's endless enthusiasm and bright nature come in useful sometimes, the mood instantly lifting. You were right. Wallace gives a thumbs up as he tries to grab some cheese coming off the slice he's working on. They don't skimp on the toppings, do they? Alright, listen up everybody. My first executive decision as club president coming here is now a regular event. You don't have money? Don't try your luck. You've got my art room and a warm body for the numbers you needed. That's it. So cool. I'll come here with you. Don't worry. See? Allison's a true friend. She slips her arm around mine and pulls us together tightly. Not knowing how I should react, I ended up nervously smiling while feeling myself flushing from the contact. I guess I'm just happy to hear her call me a friend. Or is it the lesbo senses? At least you've got Caprice with you as company during the day, for better or worse. Come on, Eileen, you're not jealous, are you? You and I can hang out at the club all the time now too. Now too. No, that's a bad idea. Are you trying to make me reconsider it? He just sits. Capri satisfies herself with pouting as she takes a big bite from her pizza. Eileen might have agreed to the club, but I do wonder if the two will ever really get along. Maybe someday. It's probably for the best that I'll be around to mediate. But if they end up together, it'll be over for us. I'm glad things turned out this way in the end. Something about Eileen feels different from my high school friends. Or Caprice. Every time we become a little closer feels like a small victory. Oh. As Caprice grins at me, I realize that I'm smiling wildly. I guess things really did turn out well. Hey, Eileen. Eileen? Eileen? Yes? How do you say cheers in Germany? Is it German? Oh, I thought she was German. Usually Prost. Why? Is it Prost? She looks suspicious until Caprice raises her glass of lemonade. The other side of the table grows loudly, but I've already begun to lift my glass in preparation. Now left awkwardly dangling it mid-air. We're not doing this. Come on, this is a celebration, right? Wallace, help me out here. Playing the Switzerland card. I'm not even in the club, remember? Oof. We're still here celebrating, though. See? I wasn't in for it. Well, that's one way to drag me into this. All I can do is awkwardly smile in apology as others grimace. While they might hesitate to follow our diminutive new leader, Wallace and Eileen begrudgingly lift their glasses in solidarity with me. Even if her enthusiasm might not be matched, there is some sense of camaraderie between us all. As I raise my glass, I realize that a familiar feeling is no longer weighing me down. For the first time in a long while, I don't feel the unease of loneliness. Oh, this is why you should have friends. But also, don't get too attached with friends because you might know them too well, or you might think that you know them too well, but after a few days or after something happens, you'll just realize that they're not who you thought they would be. So don't get too attached. In the end, maybe that's enough for me to toast this new club and the friends in it. To our new art club, Frost. So cute. Frost. Art is cute. Falling snow. Achievement unlocked. Nice. Act 2. Oh, they're so cute together. What is that? Alright, everyone out. She has a car. Caprice and I step out. It's beautiful. Again. The snow and the art. Caprice and I step out onto the busy sidewalk per Eileen's orders. The chatty girl leaning through the passenger door as Eileen tries to get the car going again. Giving a long stretch to help my stiff back, I do my best to keep out of the way. After news of Eileen's owning a car leaked out, Caprice's mind immediately set about organizing the art club's first outing. Inspiration for our art, she called it, but it was obviously an excuse to hang out. Yes. With things having gone this awry, I feel a little bad for going along with the idea, despite Eileen's reluctance. Oh. Their investigations apparently coming to nothing. Caprice rights herself as the car falls silent. Eileen closes the door behind her with some force before plodding around to us, frustration written to her face. Looks like the engine won't idle at all. Serves me right for buying second hand. But second hand is good. Know why it's not working? No idea. She looks a little sheepish for not having the answer on hand, but I can't say I blame her. As the two of us mull over our options, we become distracted by Caprice and her wide grin. She has a plan cooked up already, for better or worse. As always. What are you smiling about now? I've got this. Just stay right here. I gotta make a call. Eileen and I grimace at each other in unison, but Caprice bounces off down the street before either of us can object. Getting the phone from her pocket as she walks, she flits between the people around her while unbothered by the ice on the sidewalk. The background hum of people chatting and cars passing by takes over once again as we find ourselves at loose ends. It's just you and I now. Not like we could go anywhere else anyway. You're not going to try and stop her? She wants to go to the outing. No. Think she'd listen to me if I tried? That's a fair point. Both of them are rather stubborn, so I suppose it's inevitable they'd clash sometimes. And I keep getting dragged along. On the bright side of all the places to break down, here isn't so bad. The weather's not too chilly, and it's nice to observe people sometimes. Especially when they're bundled up in cute winter outfits. Some city workers in the distance are already beginning to set up the downtown Christmas tree, providing some entertainment for the people walking by as they struggle with the unwieldy thing. Things will change as last-minute Christmas shoppers and sale hunters start rushing around, but right now, it's a pleasant atmosphere. Turning back to Eileen, she doesn't seem as content to patiently pass the time, people watching as I am. I'm going to grab a coffee. Want one? I'm fine, probably having a bit too much of it lately. So that's where all the anxiety came from. There's no such thing as too much. As I shake my head at her offer, Eileen simply shrugs and begins strolling down the road in the opposite direction to Caprice. Rather than dance around the crowd, people make way for Eileen as she moves, her gaze fixed and noticeably taller than most. With little to do now but watch the car, I huff into my gloved hands a couple of times to try and warm them. At least the aquarium should be warmer, if we ever manage to finish the trip there. Just as I'm about to settle in and watch the passing crowds, the phone in my pocket begins to vibrate and ring. It's Rose. Oh, Dad. It's Dad. Without a second thought, I swipe my finger on the screen to pick up the call. Dad, hi. Hey, sweetie. It's good to hear your voice again. How are things? The sound of the crowds fades away as I listen to him, a comfortable warmth coming over me as I feel insulated from their gazes and focused on the conversation. Things are good, I guess. Haven't caught you at a bad time, have I? I could call back later. No, just out with friends. Gives his usual weird laugh, sounding more like air moving through those teeth than a normal full-bellied chuckle. It never fails to make me smile all the same though. What's that about? Just a relief to hear that. We've all been worried about you finding new friends after such a big change. What with changing schools and moving out. Thinking to the people I've met in school, I guess I really have. Caprice pulled me into her orbit. Wallace seems nice and caring for all his intimidating size. And then there's the beautiful Eileen. They might be a bit odd, but they're all caring in their own ways. It's funny how art seems to have drawn us all together, each in a different way. Before I respond, I vaguely hear my mother's voice in the background. Your mother said to ask if things are going okay at home. Everything's good. Rose has been a big help with everything. That's vastly understating things. If it weren't for her, I don't know how I would have coped. Not just for the constant homework and errands, but also for being away from everyone and everything I knew before. I might still have my ups and downs, but the last thing I want to do is stress them out over me. That's good to hear. Hopefully it'll take a bit of stress off a certain someone. Tell Rose hello for us if you remember. Can do. How's everyone there? Your brothers are a pain in the ass like always, for one. Right on cue, one of them loudly complains in the background. As you can tell. How's Lucy? Same as always. She's sleeping in the other room. I hear my mother's voice again in the background. Ah, right. She knocked a mug off the counter the other day. It's a cat. Your mom gave her a good scolding. I think she's acting out without you around. I can't help but laugh, imagining it. My mom exasperated with my cat. Anyway, we're getting by. It ain't the same without you, though. In a whispered voice, he continues. It's hard to get a moment's peace around here. Make sure to give your mother a call sometime, okay? Always call your parents. Okay. I'll call her. Don't worry, because you never know if something might happen. Atta girl. Anything worrying you? On your mind? How do I get this girl to like me? No, things are good. I realized my mistake the moment I answered. Having spoken just a little too quickly to make it seem natural, my mind starts to replay embarrassing situations I've been in. The constant concerns and worries of living alone, the loneliness. Please be open. That's calming voice cuts through, interrupting my spiraling thoughts. I'd better let you get back to your friends. I hope I'm not keeping you away. It's fine. I'm just happy to hear you again. We miss you too. Christmas around here will be a lot warmer once you're back for the holidays. We're going to miss you at Nana's this year. I really can't wait to see all of you again. I'll be looking forward to it too. I love you, Allison. I love you too. Bye. A few seconds pass before the familiar beeping of the ended call tone rings in my ear. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Putting away the phone, I feel like I should be happy to have spoken to my family again. That couldn't be any further from what I feel though. The horrible lump in my throat only gets worse as I stare down glumly at the dirty snow on the sidewalk. My heart hurts. The taste of my mother's food, my old bedroom, all the friends I left behind when I went to this college, my cat, they all came flooding back. It's just homesickness. I've dealt with this before and more than once. The fact it'll pass doesn't help right now though. Noticing Eileen through the crowd, coffee cup in hand as she sips away, I take a long breath and try to steady myself. I don't want to look weird in front of her, getting all sulky in the middle of the street. That was quick. Hey, the cavalry's here too. She jerks her head towards the top of the street in answer to my confusion. What? Oh. Caprice frantically waves to flag someone down. Their little car sliding into a parking spot not far from where Eileen's ended up. It looks well cared for despite its age. Oh. All Eileen and I can do is stare as the driver opens the door and steps out. I'm more than a little surprised when I recognize her as being another student from college. She looks to be about our age despite her ladylike appearance, her tall figure dressed in a small trench coat and scarf. She looks goody-goody. It's quite a fashionable look, and hardly who I expected to arrive. Eileen's prettier. As Caprice excitedly chats to her, I feel myself shrinking behind Eileen a little, out of shyness. She looks much more apathetic about the whole affair, simply taking a long sip of her coffee. Getting on Eileen's good side made me forget how unsociable she could be. Yeah. Ta-da! Found a mechanic right nearby. Mechanic? I feel a little sheepish for assuming the worst of her little mission. Caprice seems to be very friendly with the woman, but it's hard to read much into that given Caprice's personality. Hi, I'm Millie. The two of us are roommates. Mechanic might be stretching things a bit far, but I should be able to help. Now, Millie. And now, Millie, it's time for you to meet my art club. Introducing Eileen and Asen. All I can do is give a weak smile as Eileen snorts in weary disapproval. Like it or not, looks like we're a part of this misadventure for good. I could have sworn there was already an art club. That one is garbage. Mine is a cool art club. So that's what you've been so happy about lately. Shame on me for thinking you were ever jealous of my position in the writing club. Is that what all of this is about? Caprice wanted to be on level with her friend. I guess it worked out well for us. Anyway. So you're in charge of the writing club? The current leader is graduating at the end of the semester, so he's landing the reins to me. Seems I made a good impression on him. And the rest of the club doesn't get a say? That's how it works. I like to call it a stable line of succession. Speaking of which, I need to get back to writing I was doing before I got the phone call. Your car had issues? Yeah, engine died without any warning. Managed to coast it to the side of the road. Eileen doesn't seem exactly taken with the situation. Millie's explanation of her being a writer not explaining her ability to fix a car. We don't have much option but to put our faith in her at this point. Really, a mechanic, huh? I'm guessing Caprice gave you the briefing. Need me around to start a flame? Oh, let me! No, go away. Eileen narrows her eyes, but eventually sighs and chucks her keys at the girl. Caprice's momentary hesitation shows she expected that to work no more than I did. Just don't go for a drive or something. I assure you, you haven't seen me actually angry yet. The seriousness of her tone seems to penetrate a little, of course. Caprice being Caprice, it doesn't take long for her to bounce back. Now then, let's fix this thing. Right, let's have a look. She gives us a confident smile before popping the hood, Caprice taking on the job of her assistant. To Millie's credit, she looks like a natural as she quickly moves this and that around about to peer inside. If you don't need us, we'll just go for a short walk, alright? Got it! We're gonna have a date. The meaning of we becomes clear as Eileen puts a hand around my shoulder. Oh. To direct me, the two of us walking off beside each other and leaving the two to their work. Yes. This is where it begins. And look at that art again. Visuals are so beautiful. It looks like one of those large puzzles with beautiful art in them. It feels a little weird to have Eileen's arm around my back and holding my shoulder as we walk side by side. Even if it is to guide me, she takes a long while to let go. Yes, don't let go. You sure you're alright leaving them alone? I'd rather be with you. Not at all. Not like I can do anything to actually help though. All I can do is awkwardly laugh it up. I don't have the first clue on even day-to-day maintenance for a car after all. So maybe just staying out of the supposed mechanic's way might be for the best. We're useless. At least it broke the ice a bit, as I still feel a little unsure when I'm alone with her. I can never seem to get a read on Eileen. Every time we talk, I end up getting caught in her pace. Even now, I'm not sure why she pulled me away to walk with her. I need your warmth. No, that's not quite true. She must have noticed me being depressed earlier, even if she isn't saying anything about it. Given how she also invited me over for dinner when I was hungry, it seems she really does care for me despite her stoic exterior. Yeah, she looks after us. Don't forget. As she drops her emptied coffee cup into a bin as we pass, I realize it's going to be up to me to raise the subject. So, you saw me earlier, huh? You did look a bit bummed when you got off the phone. Didn't want to bring it up if you didn't though. She left me no choice. I miss talking to my family after so long. Sorry for being so flustered. Nothing to be sorry for. It's only natural. So you're homesick, huh? Sometimes. Moving out for the first time's a big deal. You don't need to beat yourself up over feeling stressed. Thanks. I thought I was doing okay, but when I heard my dad's voice again, it all came crashing down. It reminded you of what you're away from. Ouch. I give a simple nod. She doesn't seem to be speaking in an overly soft or caring tone, but she is listening carefully. I appreciate it, really. She doesn't come off as patronizing. Oh, she's perfect for me. I can't imagine living alone. I have no idea how you do it. She gives an absent-minded shrug. I'm not really fussed about this sort of thing. Besides, Waz drops by sometimes. And you're welcome as well. Sweet. It's good that you have a roommate to get along with, though. That'd help. I get the feeling Eileen's circling around what she actually wants to say. As she looks to me, I think she realizes that the game is up. The two of us stopping as she turns in front of me. We're all freshmen here. You, me, Caprice, we're all away from our families and trying to find our niche. If you want to talk or vent, you're around. Once told me you talk, so you have that big oaf as well. That's it, I guess. I might have the thought I didn't want to worry her, but her reassurances are more comforting than I'd guessed they'd be. Even as I manage to gather myself, I can't help but smile. I know it's a little bit selfish, but it's sort of nice to have someone worried over me. Aww. To my surprise, she brings her hand to my head and starts ruffling my hair, like a kid. It's hard to read her expression as she does so, but I don't feel put off at all. Quite the opposite. You feel welcomed. She pauses for a moment. Please stop. Sorry, if you don't... It's fine. Aww. With her shrugged face. I only just managed to splutter the words out. My dumb smile better at getting the message across. Please. We're bad at hiding our feelings. Taking the cue, she begins petting my head once more. I forgot how much I miss simple physical interaction, as awkward as she might be about it. Really, that's kind of weird. A hug might be a bit more normal, but somehow it's hard to imagine Eileen doing that. Let's see. It's not a secret, I'm not great at this kind of thing. Just keep what I said in mind, alright? I will. Everyone's here to help me. I'll remember that. Removing her hand, no please don't. Eileen and I start heading back towards the car, side by side. It's easy for someone who's outgoing to comfort another, but it feels somehow more sincere from a loner like Eileen. She's making an extra effort for my sake. You're special, then. You're special. Somehow I feel a little warmer than I did before as you walk back. Maybe the weather's improved, but I doubt that's it. You're flustered. You're blushing. I guess you've had experience living alone, haven't you? Me? Just moved out for college. Same as you. So we're in just the same situation. Yet Eileen has everything so together that she can offer me help like this. Moreover, she's known so this entire time. I just sigh in defeat. Yeah, it's different for different people. Like some people can cope, some people aren't really good about it. So don't feel or don't beat yourself up for not being the adjustable type. College has really driven home how everyone's different. Sure has. The reason for the dreariness in her voice becomes apparent as I follow her gaze. Caprice happily bouncing out of the car and shutting the door as we stroll up. Everyone sure is different. Hey, hey guys! The impromptu mechanic appears finished as well, running herself and closing the hood after poking around inside. In that outfit, she absent-mindedly wipes the sweat off her forehead, leaving some grease on her face before realizing her error. Oof. They had that detail. We added the detail. Oops, well, it's fixed for now. Looks like the fuse went. Nothing major. I've done what I can out here, but it needs a proper fix back at the shop. This'll get you going though. Eileen's impressed look is shared by me. Being so handy is a good trait to have. And there's some grease on her hand. And she did come all the way here just to help us. I'm impressed. Fixed cars before. She's a mechanic. I was about to recommend taking it to my dad's auto shop actually. Your dad's shop is as good as any other. I'll sort something out this afternoon. This is where I'd shake your hand and things, but you know. Millie gives a self-deprecating smile in response. Caprice passes her a handkerchief from her pocket, which Millie quickly uses to wipe her hands as best she can. Hey, since you're already here, I'll let you all get on with your art club adventure. I have other things I need to do. Sorry. Have fun. She looks so pompous. With that, we give our farewells to Millie as she heads back towards her car. Her momentary churlish grin towards the deflated Caprice doesn't go unnoticed. A rivalry in the making. Rivalry. A rival? She's a rival? Eileen snatches her case back from the girl's hand, wasting no time in undressing the both of us. Now, are we finally going to the aquarium? Yeah! She beams brightly, her smile proving infectious. Turning to me, Eileen's emerald eyes stare into my own. Emerald. You don't look emerald? They're more of brown. Checking my reaction after the day's events. As rough as she might be, Eileen really does care about others. Come on. Let's go, Eileen. With this, she gives one of those few smiles she dares give. It feels like a reward to see them, and I find myself wanting to see them more and more. Oof. I briefly wonder who's in the art room as I proceed. Caprice will be there. I've little doubt of that, but I'm starting to enjoy being around Eileen. Her paintings are so nice to see, and anytime I manage to make her warm to me feels somehow rewarding. Someone like Caprice smiles all the time, and the moment we sat beside each other in a biology lecture, my fate was sealed as she began chatting to me without prompting. While I don't mind that at all, finding her bubbly attitude uplifting is a little overbearing. There's little about her that she keeps to herself. Yeah, people are more attracted to other people who are mysterious or secretive, and that's a fact. When Eileen gives praise or even just smiles, it feels genuinely earned. I think that's the difference. Now, you're in love. Upon reaching the door and opening it, the otherwise empty room is filled with the greetings of a certain loud girl. Sitting at a table with a sketchbook in front of her, she takes a brief break from her work. Good afternoon, Allison. Hi. You look cheerful as usual. I'm super ready for today's art club meeting. She pumps her fist as I walk in. Earning a sincere, if weary smile, I feel a little bad for my first reaction upon answering being disappointment, given her earnest sense of friendship with me. You have favorites. Shrugging it off, I pile my books onto another table and take a couple of pencils from the side of the table, which Caprice has commandeered. Oh, nice. Look at those strong strokes on the pair. A glance at the sketchbook Caprice has been sketching in makes me stop in my tracks. I have to look up at her and back down again just to confirm that this was done by the same person. Her casual doodles were cute, but she has a real talent for this stuff now that I see her more serious work. I never really questioned how much Caprice has practiced her art, now that I think about it. I'm left a little chastened for underestimating how much effort she puts into this hobby. Oof, cat. Cute. Cute cat. Motivated to try a bit harder, I take a seat and open one of my notebooks. Flipping to a mostly empty page, I ponder for a moment before setting about sketching a cat. They were always a favorite subject to doodle. That's our cat. I lose track of time as I start to get into it, trying to replicate Caprice's shading from memory. It's only when Caprice pipes up with another greeting that I take a break. Oof. Eileen strides through the doorway as I look up, giving a quick, perfunctory wave to the both of us. She looks barely awake, but given how tired she always looks, it's hard to say if it's any worse than usual. So, the eye bags on her eyes are an added detail, or they were meant to be there. As we exchange greetings and Caprice gets back to her sketching, Eileen's eyes fall on my notebook. Without breaking the stride, she turns on the ball of her high boots to take a detour from her easel and peer at my work. Eileen's figure looms above as she stands in front of me, fingers pressed to the top of my sketchbook as she looks down. It conjures up feelings I haven't felt since middle school, as if a student shrinking before her teacher. Haven't done this in a while, have you? Sorry. Why are you apologizing? If you haven't, you haven't. You have the fundamentals right at least, which only comes with practice. Yeah, I think she suits being a teacher, despite her scary look. Her fingertip skates back and forth on the paper, pointing out this and that. Musculature looks off, but that's a pain at the best of times for animals. Try to draw some references instead of relying on what your mind thinks something looks like. Yeah, always use references for drawing. A weight feels as if it's been lifted from my shoulders. It's not exactly high praise, but the fact she's willing to give me pointers feels like validation. You like cats? I like cats. I have one back at home. Explains it. More of a dog person myself, really. Ever had one? Would have been nice, but my parents weren't interested in the idea. Your parents must be super strict. Sounds like you and your parents don't get along very well. We don't. The pet thing's nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go into one of their approved careers, and I didn't. That's mostly what art students face, is that their parents don't approve of their careers because they think it's not good for their future. It's interesting. Oh, I thought it would be something more complicated. Sometimes things really are as simple as they seem. I'm sure things will work out eventually. That's nice. Oof. I opened my mouth to respond, but the tone behind her words makes it clear that she considers this discussion over. The air goes cold between us, leaving me at a loss for words as my shoulders slump in defeat. All I meant to do was cheer her up. Guess we're not that close yet. As she steps over to another table and pulls off her coat, Caprice gleefully fills the awful silence with her bubbly voice. Hey, have you tried doing other stuff as well? What do you mean? You know, other kinds of art. There's oils, watercolor, pottery, fletching. I both paint and do sketch work, so it's not like you need to keep to one thing or another. I can get some pottery stuff if you want. Eileen barely restrains herself from rolling her eyes by harassing the poor professor into giving you some kiln time and clay. It's not harassment, it's negotiating. I think I'll be fine for now. Eileen gives one final piece of advice as she turns towards the cupboard, taking advantage of the lull from Caprice focusing her own work. Don't worry about her. Just keep at it. Practice might not make perfect, but it'll get you close. I'm sure Eileen means well with her efforts at teaching, but it's a vast change to the way I used to draw as a kid and in high school, being little more than an occasional scribble when an idea struck. Barely having time to put pencil to paper, a clatter at the front of the room draws the attention of both Caprice and I. As Eileen fiddles, both of us get up to see what's happening. What's up? Standing at the old wooden cabinet at the front of the room, Eileen gives a couple more sharp tugs at the door with all her usual gentleness before turning to Caprice. Are we locked inside? Or the cabinet? The door to the cabinet's locked. Nah, they never lock it after class. She bounces over to Eileen and takes the handle in her grip, giving it several pulls at various creative angles in case it's jammed. After one last try, hard enough to have her feet sleeping on the floor. Could you say that again? I didn't quite catch what you said. And their faces. As they face off, I take a look at the cabinet between them. It's a type of lock I've tried before, and not particularly high-end. Then again, I've never done this with two people peering over my shoulder. First the vending machine and then the lock. Does that mean she's a thief? Is it possible that we're a thief? And why would you try picking a lock or a vending machine? As they both look at me, I realize there isn't any backing down now. Glancing out the door to make sure there isn't anyone listening in, I continue on. I could maybe try picking it. You can do that? Someone sure has a knack for skills that upstanding people shouldn't have. Yeah. All I can do in response is wilt. Eileen's not exactly wrong, even if I do like to think I only do such things when I should. You don't really have much of an option. Think you can do it? Accepting my fate, I get up and hold my hand toward them. I laid a couple of paper clips. Weird. Taking to my feet once more, Eileen and Caprice look more dubious than impressed. Well, did you get it? A little more confident than Caprice, her face having been plastered right beside the lock out of curiosity as I worked, I take a long breath and reach out to the handle, giving it a timid tug. The relief in the room is palpable as the old door creeps open, revealing shelf upon shelf of supplies. Awesome! Caprice gives a tight hug from behind in appreciation and excitement, leaving me to awkwardly laugh off the praise as Eileen starts taking her paints and brushes. As she rights herself and Caprice detaches herself from me, Eileen gives a couple of taps on the shoulder with her free hand. You did good. Where, or maybe I should say why, did you pick up skills like that? I just like learning things. Taking an interest in the conversation, Caprice leans back towards us. What kind of things? Other cool stuff like that? Just things. Schoolwork wasn't too hard, so instead of studying, I ended up teaching myself stuff, like how to pick locks and tinker with different machines to keep myself occupied. Maybe she could take a course that's related to that. Are you aware of how sketchy that sounds? It's not about doing bad things, they're just puzzles. The point is working them out, not getting free stuff. When I put it that way, I guess it's pretty useless to learn. That's pretty funny to be saying right now. Caprice nudges Eileen, who just raises an eyebrow. She makes a decent point. Hoping that no staff were around to notice what just happened, I throw the twisted paper clips in the bin before heading to my table as Caprice takes to hers and Eileen sits herself at her easel. Without further ado, we each set to work. Ooh, the painting changed. It's a nice atmosphere with the three of us working away at our own little projects. I'm not sure sketching cats in a notebook really counts as much of a project, but having friends around makes it somehow more meaningful. With winter setting in, I find myself settled in for the evening on the couch watching a movie on the television, a blanket draped over me to try and keep me warm. Rose still isn't back from work, and with the garbage taken out and washing up done, it probably won't hurt to take things easy for the rest of this evening. Ring! A loud ping comes from beside me, my hand automatically reaching for the phone sitting on the couch in response. Probably Rose saying she'll be late, dooming me to microwave noodles for dinner again. Come on, she's been working. She's working hard. I briefly consider saying no, but that would be mean. I can barely make out their picture beyond what I think to be yellow hair. Is that Eileen? I don't even know any blondes besides Eileen and Millie, and the latter's unlikely to be messaging me. Eileen? Boss, help me set this thing up. What's with your profile pic? It took a photo when it was setting up. Find any nice apps yet? I haven't tried looking. I don't really get it. She's so old school. I can't help but giggle a little. I'm happy she's making the effort when she made it clear she wasn't interested before. You are special. I'll help you out with it tomorrow. That would be good. Thanks. Sorry if I type slowly. This keyboard is weird. Practice makes perfect. About that. Want to say sorry about the parents thing. Oh. She's also the type that cares about or is concerned about hurting others with her words. I was too touchy. It's okay. Wasn't really my business. Life doesn't always have a happy ending. That's true. Things don't work out, and that's that. We still have to try though. Please stop. People are good. We just need to have faith. At least, that's what I think. I don't get you at all. Oh, it's like a ghost. I think that goes both ways. I see. Please. She has a boyfriend. No, even better, a girlfriend. Taken completely unawares, I leap off the couch and spin around, barely keeping a hold of the phone in my hand. When did you get in? When did you get in? Just now. Sorry. Couldn't help myself. I let out a long breath to steady myself as my heart slowly returns to its normal space. Rose just grins churlishly as she walks off to hang up her coat. Roommate's back. Catch you tomorrow. See you. With that, I tap the side button to lock the phone once more, putting it on the counter beside me. And there we end the episode. So now we have Eileen's number, and perhaps we're a few steps closer to finally dominating her and conquering her. So, see you again